Okay. Hello. Okay. I'm only checking how it works. Do you hear me? Can you tell me if you hear me? Okay. I don't want to start without know if you can hear me well. So, okay. Okay, good. Thank you. So, okay, my name is Merche. Welcome to this workshop of self-portrait. I will present you the summary. Yeah, here, let's see. So, first of all, I will start presenting myself, introducing myself, and talking about my history and about my career and what I studied and what I am doing now and what I am working on now. Then I will explain what is self-portrait for me, what inspires me, what is creativity for me, how I organize a self-portrait session from the start to finish. And then I will tell you some tips for making your own self-portrait. And the finish is a challenge that I will explain after. So, first, my name is Merche. I'm from Spain, and I'm a photographer and a videographer. I started the photography and the beautiful world of photography when I was 16 years old, that I went to Malaga to study. And I spent there 4 years studying a training course, is kind of professional course, specialized in photography and videography. Then I spent 2 more years working there, changing path all the time. And I define myself as a person who is all the time changing path. And for that reason, I wrote this quote here and said, even though I've changed path many times, I always end up with the camera in my hands. Because after Malaga, I went to Croatia for my ABS, for my voluntary. I was supposed to do another things, but then I started my personal blog and I started to make travel videos and photography while traveling. And then I always have the camera and I always make some photos. So I changed the topic. Maybe I make portraits or landscape, but always I have the camera. So this is I wanted to show the portrait I made, I think is 7 years ago, because I started to make my own self-portraits when I was in Malaga, and I was passing through a period that I have a really low self-esteem. and I was so close to people, to my friends, to my family, and the only way that I found to express myself and to express my feelings, it was through photography. And I started to make a self-portrait. Then I started to travel, and I started to change my mind, and I stopped to make my self-portrait, and I was looking for something else. This, for example, is a I think this is the more meaningful portrait that I have, and I did it in a period of time in which I was like dreaming and putting a really high goal to myself, and telling people what I wanted to do, and everyone was telling me, but you're crazy, you are not going to get there, and this is a really difficult path. And I made this photo because I remember that I wrote something like, even though if I can hear you, I don't want to see what you are saying. It was kind of metaphor. And it was like, I'm blind to your comments, and I will do whatever I want, even though if you are telling me not to do it. And this photo, I think I took it 7 years ago. And these are the new ones, because after the start of this quarantine situation, I found myself without nothing to do. All my schedule was changed. All my works and my jobs got canceled or postponed. So I found my agenda like totally empty. And so I started to think about what to do to entertain myself, and to, I don't know, to make something and not only wait until the time is past. And so I started to make again my self-portrait, and in this time I discovered how nice it is to make it, actually, because I'm starting to know myself. And well, these are some photos of now. Yeah, here there are the reasons why I do self-portrait, and I do it totally because it's an exercise to know myself. It's a way to see myself from the outside, to see myself how others see me, and to see all the things that others see on me that I don't see. Like, for example, I have been for a long time telling me that I don't like my hair, or I don't like my nose, or I don't like, and actually there are things that a lot of people likes from me. And this is a way make myself photos and show to the people. Is a way also to see what people actually think about me, because normally I'm also thinking about, I don't know, people will think that I am ugly, or I am not good enough, or I am not pretty. And what I find is that people see me better than how I see myself. So it's also to accept myself, and if there is something that I don't like from my body or from my face, normally what I do is to take a photo of this zone, this thing that I don't like, and I train myself to like it. Like, I see the photo, and then it's kind of accept what I have and who I am and how I am, and accept it as it is. Yeah, this is another one, and this one I wanted to show you because I discovered that I have a lot of details in my face that I didn't notice before, because normally I don't see my skin so close. So even though if I go to the mirror and I try to see, I can see better when I am editing the photo, or I am processing, or editing the photos and sharing them. So now I wanted to talk to you about what inspires me. And I prepared here some books and so some magazines. And I have in my room, I think actually the first thing that inspires me is my room, because I have a room in which I have everything. I have guitars, and I have paints and books, and it's full of a lot of things that if I get bored, I have a lot of things to take and entertain myself. So this is a book of photos from all my favorite photographers. This is a wedding book. And then I have some magazines also, and I have also books, more photography books there. So I see the works of others in social media, in magazines, in books. And wait, something happened in my computer. Then another thing that inspires me is watching TV shows and movies. I watch a lot of TV shows. And then I noticed that in my photos, normally my compositions, they are based in some of the movies that I watch. Then I read the books also, and I found also that some of my photos, they are connected to some histories that I read. Another thing that inspires me is to play the ukulele and sing, talking to other people, and travel. That now we are not traveling so much, but anyway, I'm inspired by my past trips. Okay, so what is creativity for me, and how I get motivation to keep creating? So what I think about creativity is that it's not something we are born, but it's something that we can train. And the first thing I do to train it and to motivate myself to get the motivation to keep creating is, for example, in my room, how I said, I have the guitars and the ukulele, and before I had them in the cover, and I put them in my closet, and they were there in the dark. So one thing that I did 2 years ago, it was to put them in the wall in a way that I can see them every time that I enter in my room, and that I get this motivation to play them. Another thing is to have also the books and everything that I have to read or to play or to be creative. I have it in a way that I can see it. So another thing to keep the motivation is that everything that I do, like photos or maybe painting, because sometimes I tried also to paint, is that I put it in a frame in a way that I can also see. So this is a paint that I did. It's made with coffee, and when I did it, I said, but it's so ugly, because it wasn't planned. It was one day that I did it, and without thinking about nothing, and really randomly. And then I put it inside a folder, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to do anything with it. And then when I put it in the frame, and I put it in the wall of my room. A lot of people actually told me that it's a really nice paint, and for me it was like, well, it's nothing special. So yeah, this is also the how I get the motivation to keep creating. Then I have also, that I prepared here, yeah, some books with activities and exercise to train the creativity. So if you want, you can write me then, and I can tell you some games, because it's really full of games. So it's also to keep the mind active, and yeah. Okay. So how I organize my a self-portrait session from start to finish. So in my mind, it works. I think it works different, because normally you have the idea and then you search for the place. But how it happened to me is that I see the place, or I see the object, and then I think about the photo. So, for example, one of the object of the last photos that I did, it was this plate that actually is a decorative piece from my house. And yeah, I discovered that this plate it has the same pattern as the curtains of the living room. So I saw these two patterns again. And I said, what not to do a picture with this? So my email is going on stream. And I made this photo in my backyard. And also this one. So I see the object or the place, and then I think about the photo. And what I do when an idea comes to my mind is or write it or drawing it. And I normally make these drawings that I have my notebook full of these. It's so strange because I can see myself in the other screen, but it's low. So yeah, I have this notebook in which I draw what I want to do with the photos. And normally when I am out of ideas, I take the notebook and I look for something to do. So then when I have the place or I have the object that I want to use, I create the props. So for example, this is a crown that I create with really simple things, because it's a dry plant that I got in my backyard. And I made myself, and I use it to do the photos that I was showing you before. Let's see. This one, for example. That one. Yeah, this is how it looks. Mm-hmm. And what I want to say with this is that it's so easy to make a photo with things, simple things that we have in the house. Because this is a dry plant that I have in the backyard, and I got it and with a true, I don't know the name, but yeah, this thing. I made it, and then I made the photo session in my room. So once I have the props and I have the clothes and the place, I set up the camera and the lights. That the lights, now I have a flash, but when I started, I used the light from my room, and also the the window. So when I have everything set, the camera and the lights, and I have the background and all the props, what I do is to make the pictures that I had planned. And once I have these photos, I experiment. Like, I start to change the point of view, and I start to change the lights, and sometimes also the props. Then I make the selection and the editing, and the last thing that I do is to share it. So here I wrote some tips for make your own self-portrait. And yeah, what they want, I wrote it thinking about that you are going to do then with a phone. So the first thing is to use the back camera, because normally the quality of the camera is higher than the front camera, and the resolution of the photo is going to be better. Then this, I think, I assume that everyone know it, but to use the self timer in the camera app to see, to have this time between pressing the shutter button and the photo being taken. I am reading. Then we have the I am not sure how to pronounce this word, but burst mode. Correct me if you want. Because that with this mode you can capture 10 photography or 15. It depends. I think you can put it when you are configuring the mode. And this is so easy then to take photos in which you are moving, or I don't know, if you want to take a photo while you are dancing, or maybe make some faces or change the posture. Is easier in that way. Then use a tripod instead of your hands, because with the tripod the camera is more stable. And if you use the hands, even though if the technology now is amazing, but the photo then can be shaky. And I'll look for natural light from a window. And the last thing that is my favorite, and normally I use it when I make photos for clients, use the golden hour. I don't know if you know what is the golden hour, but it's the hour that we have before the sunrise and after the sunset. It is hour in which we still have light, but it's not this strong light from the sun. Normally the sky is orange or pink, it depends of the day, and the light is so soft, and the quality of the photo normally is better in that hour. And to finish, I want to propose you to make a self-portrait and share it in the comments of this video. I will be able, normally I am online, so if you want to approach me and ask me for some advices, or tell me your idea to make this self-portrait, I will answer you, and I am here to help you. So I want to see your self-portrait. And yeah, I think I told everything. And if you have any question or something, I will give you some minutes. And if not, you can also write me later. Yeah, do we have questions? I don't know how much time it's passed. How can I see it? 24 minutes. Wow. So no questions. Okay, so as I said, you can also always write me and approach me if you need. So thank you very much, and see you another time, maybe in another workshop. Let's see. Bye.